warned everybody about this in a TED Talk in 2015. You predicted this would happen. And so I'm sure you're very prepared because you knew this was going to happen.
My grandmother's farm needs a major overhaul. Worse than I thought.
It's not that bad.
Grandma, it's Dean.
She's got company. How many?
6.
Stand by.
We're aware of the level 1 breach.
Activate patient 0. Prep Gen 3 for widespread contamination. Prep Gen 3 for widespread contamination.
I don't feel so good. Oh, I got you. How do we know that we don't have what she has? We need to get her to a hospital, Dean. What's wrong?
How's the mess?
Quiet.
Make sure it stays that way.
Come on as fast as you can so you get through to 911.
911 operator. What is your emergency?
We need help.
We discovered an abnormally potent species growing in your grandmother's basement.
The one needs my grandmother's DNA for the vaccine. The one needs my grandmother's DNA for the vaccine. The one needs my grandmother's DNA for the vaccine.
Sarah breathed contaminated air for a decade without suffering a single symptom. Sarah breathed contaminated air for a decade without suffering a single symptom. Problem at the nest.
And if the kids get in our way?
I'm not taking lives, I'm saving them.
Exit now, we have you surrounded.
The world will always need someone to cure the masses. The world will always need someone to cure the masses.
That's it. And I see you slide down to the floor.
You know, with luck, in early June, if the whole country does a better job of shutting down and we get prioritization of the testing that's going on, what policies should we have? Because until we get almost everybody vaccinated globally,
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rekha Hakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, peace to the elect. I want to touch on this video. I was just scrolling through and I saw it with Bill Gates, okay, saying in 2015 he predicted it. And then I remember seeing this movie with Danny Glover on the internet, one of those sites, which came out in 2015. Okay, and it had so many similarities with so-called patient 0, and they already had the vaccines set up. I was doing a job for someone, okay, earlier, okay, and he said, and he drives Uber, so I was, working on his car, and what he said was, he picked up a doctor, and the doctor said, Bill Gates, he got the inside scoop that Bill Gates already have pretty much the vaccines. He's just trying to depopulate the world and vaccinate the population, which we pretty much already know, but these confirmations are coming out more and more, rapidly. Okay. So anyway, this is just a quick video. It's going to be probably a short video. And I really wanted to go into the fact that these Israelite groups, what are you doing? Okay, I hear, that this man is the devil and what's going on. And, But the outcome is this chip, the vaccinations and the chip, and that's what should be being pushed at this stage of the this game, if you want to call it that, because to the Most High, it's all a chess game. He has control over all of it. 2 Corinthians 2:11. These scriptures never get old. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay. And these devices are going to be taken. He's going to be taken by his own devices. But this is what we should be going into. This is what we should be going into, bringing forth to warn the people, as Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, say. Okay, you know what? When you're talking, the other scriptures start coming to mind. So I'm getting that as I speak. Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. Let's go to about, I think, the 17th verse. Okay. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the words out of my mouth, and give them warning from me. Okay. And this whole thing is good. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. So, if the apostles, a great millstone, and their teachers, never decided not to teach them, and then they decided not to teach us, then we decided not to teach everybody else, the word couldn't go forth, and the Lord will require our bloods, okay, our blood. So you have to teach righteously. Now, let's go to another scripture, okay. This is 2 Corinthians. I think I'm gonna go to the 4th chapter and about the 3rd verse. Okay, I believe it's the 3rd verse. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, okay, and to whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, okay. And that's going into the name of the Lord. That's going in. A lot of these scriptures are going to guys that know that the people that know that the Israelites. That's going into the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, which I cannot understand how somebody would say that it can't be, is bigger than the microchip. Being delivered has nothing to do with the chip being in your hand. That is utterly disgusting. That is utterly disgusting to say something like that. Okay, you're not looking after the people, man. Okay, the elect. And I would like to say some of them have some sincerity, but on the other hand, they're just preaching for contention, man. Hey, let's get that. I think that's in Philippians 1 verse, looks like 17. Let me go to 14. Okay. 15. Some indeed preach Yahushua, even of envy and strife. Okay. There's some people who preach it like that just for, I know I've seen some guys like that. They just want the drama. Okay. And some also of goodwill. The one preached Christ, Yahushua, for contention, not sincerely, supposed to add affliction to my bonds. Okay, so we've seen this has happened before. Let's go to contention. That word contention means a point advanced or maintained in a debate or argument. And so when we talk about the microchip, see, we're contending for the faith. When we talk about the microchip, it's about defending the faith. Okay? Some want to make it a big old debate and big old argument over it. It's not really, and what you're doing is you're fighting for, something that you believed in, and it's hard to imagine that what you were taught, you will now understand that it's wrong. Okay? I can go into things that are from the beginning when I first came in that the apostles was teaching, and then they grew in the spirit and knew, well, maybe that's not so much that. You have to be able to do that. You have to be able to have a balance. You have to be able to say, well, wait a minute. I can't lead the people astray because of my own pride. I don't want to believe it. So instead of looking deeply into it, it's more for you to be right than what the truth is, you know? And that's what a lot of Jake do. It's more important for them to be right than what the actual truth is. Okay, sincere means free of dissimulation, to be honest. Free from adulteration, to be pure, to be true. So some people may be sincere in what they're doing, but ultimately you got to know that Captain Dazariak and Ka'azat, or whatever his name is, so I'm pronouncing it wrong, Nathaniel, Zabak, you got to know that something is wrong if you're not going deep into it. See, right there, they keep defending what they're saying because that's what they was taught, so they only go into layers. They do not go into the word, the root word, and say, wait a minute, that mark of Revelation ain't the same mark as in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, or the same mark that's in Romans, I believe it's 13. They're not saying, well, wait a minute, if I lie on somebody, it's spelled L-I-E, or I lie down, those are two different lies. So what context of that lie, that word, do I put in a sentence when it's describing something? So when the scripture says no man might buy, sell, or trade, and you're taking that same mark that you've heard in Romans 13, and you're trying to apply it to Revelations 13, either you didn't do well in comprehension, or you're just trying to fight for your own belief. You're trying to continue to fight for your own doctrine or what you want to believe, okay? That's just what I see, you know? So the bottom line is, wake up, warn the people, teach the people, tell the truth, whether your feelings get hurt, whether your pride get hurt, whether you feel you're right or you're wrong, you feel you're right. You got to really dig deep, And I take my hat off through the Spirit to the other elder of HODC, which they've always taught that, but they acknowledged it. Sometimes you got to acknowledge when someone is right, and it's the Spirit. See, these guys are speaking carnally. They're thinking it's just Apostle Tahar. I don't want to be wrong because Apostle Tahar got it. I don't want to acknowledge Apostle Tahar. What you have to do is acknowledge the Spirit. That's what matters. Forget all the pride. That's called having character, having great character, knowing that you're wrong, okay, and then stepping in and accepting the fact that, yeah, maybe I was just taught wrong. It's maybe not your fault. You just didn't know. Or maybe consider that the Lord just blinded you and you were just never meant to get it. A lot of you and a lot of your followers, all that prophecy, I believe 1 Corinthians 13 say, I have the gift of prophecy. I move mountains. I know the name of the Lord. And some of you don't, or you do, but you don't teach it. And you say all these things, but you have zero charity. Okay? You're not helping the people. All these things are happening. Well, we kind of wonder what's going to happen next when the mandatory vaccinations come out and then the mandatory chip comes out. Okay? As I said before, and I think Apostle Tahar even said it, which I agree, that I don't think the vaccination and the chip is one of the same. They're separate. Jake is saying the chip is your blood pressure medicines and all other kinds of stuff. It's the chip. And that's just what it is. Okay? And it might be another virus planted in that chip that if you're not, if you're not agreeing, let me say that, to the system, if you're not compliant to the system, open that thing up, automatic release, and release a virus right into you that'll kill you. We know how this man gets. Now, I kind of personally believe that there is some form of a virus, okay? Although a lot of it's hoaxed, some of it, as far as the numbers because they have to have something to back up showing it to be true to some degree. It's just brothers have different beliefs on it. We do all agree that this whole is a bigger scheme in this whole coronavirus thing, okay? Because at the end of it all, there's more people that's died with influenza in America, well, close to it, than coronavirus throughout the world. You know, I believe it's like 28,000 now throughout the world that's died from it. But 20,000 people in America, in the United States, die of influenza, which I believe that, okay? There's a lot of people die from the influenza. And then they come with the vaccines, they come with the solution, order FKO. We know how that go, you know? So, you know, it's, you know, you got to warn the people at the end of the day and tell them the truth. This devil is on the move. That's all I have on that. Shalom.